Good morning, Nanaimo. I hope everyone had a wonderful evening yesterday. I actually was here only 13 years ago studying just up the hill at Vancouver Island University, so I probably went to some of the places you went to last night. And they're probably still there. I am very happy to be here with you today because, 13 years ago when I was studying up there, I don't think there was enough reason to have this presentation. When I was studying tourism management up there, I had the privilege of going to Costa Rica on a bit of an internship. And we were helping to develop ecotourism or agritourism in rural coffee farming regions for additional sources of income. And that is what really got me my start in sustainability. And back then we were calling it ecotourism. And Costa Rica has a big place in my heart. And that video you just saw there from my friend Hans Pfister, who is the founder of Cayuga Collection, they've been doing sustainability for 20 plus years. He's been doing it. I call him the godfather of sustainability. I don't know if he loves that. But he's been doing it so long, and they do so many things so well. So I'm going to talk about them a few times in this presentation. And the story you're not telling really stems from my work as a journalist. So I co-authored the Lonely Planet guidebook for British Columbia and the Canadian Rockies a few years ago. I write the Greater British Columbia chapter of it, and then I just did another guidebook in the middle one, which will be on the shelves next month. And these are essentially my love letter to BC. I get to write about my favorite place in the world for Lonely Planet readers, and actually this one right in time for World Cup readers too. So storytelling comes from my heart, and I have a real deep affinity for sustainability. And I come into this at a rare intersection in that I have a destination marketing company, and we focus in values-based tourism marketing for the DMOs. We've worked with Destination Canada. We've worked all across the country. But I also come into it from an editorial standpoint. And what I was seeing through the industry, through my travels across the world in the hotels, was that the hotels that are doing really, really great work in sustainability weren't really communicating that message well enough to the guests. I am given a behind-the-scenes visit as a journalist, and I get my hand held behind the scenes to get shown what all these sustainability initiatives are about. But then when I take a step back and look at it from the guest perspective, I don't see that information being communicated to them. And we'll get into that in a sec. First, we're going to go into some data. What are travelers telling us right now? So Booking.com has been doing these reports for 10 years now. They've interviewed over 240,000 travelers over the course of 10 years. And these numbers don't lie. They're across 32,000 travelers in 34 countries. 84% of travelers are saying sustainable travel is important to them. 93% of them want to make more sustainable travel choices. 53% are conscious of the impact on local communities, and 73% want their money spent to go back to local communities. And 69% want to leave places better than they found them. This data, these numbers, don't lie. These are the travelers that are coming to your hotels and are inherently part of your values. My friend Mikey from Intrepid Travel told me this 6 years ago at the Impact Sustainable Travel and Tourism Conference. And I asked him just this past January if it still rung true, and he said yes. He said I could use his quote. Sustainability isn't the number one reason why people book an Intrepid travel trip, but it's the number one reason why people rebook an Intrepid travel trip. It's the number one reason why people rebook with the world's largest certified B Corp in travel. 84% of people say sustainability matters. So the desire puts them in the funnel. That hotel or that hot tub view overlooking Cox Bay, that room with kitchen and bunk beds that helps the family have an easier vacation. There's many, many different parts of the hotel journey that get people to book. But when it comes time to deciding across a whole bunch of them, sometimes sustainability can be the tiebreaker. So desirability is what's putting them in the funnel, but sustainability might be what actually helps them decide. Your sustainability story and your sustainability storytelling, in my opinion, and through my work, builds repeat guests. I've seen it build brand loyalty. I've seen it do word of mouth marketing. I've seen it have people become champions of your cause. And I've heard that this is a bit of a common topic at this conference. When it relates to staff turnover, it helps people, or it helps lodges and hotels have lower staff turnover. So I've traveled to all 7 continents in the last year and a half, I think, and I've been to every continent multiple times except Antarctica just once. Every single country I've been to in those continents, and every hotel I've been to in those countries that are nailing it sustainability, the common thread is that sustainability helps contribute to a lower staff turnover, because the staff see that that hotel is contributing to a better community to live in. They see that that hotel is creating a better, engaging in conservation initiatives in the environment. It's helping to preserve their culture, and it's creating a healthier place to live, and they inherently want to be part of that business, part of that place that helps build it to be a better place to live. This is an interesting stat. For those of you who are at the BC Tourism Conference, we heard 34%. I couldn't find any numbers to back that one up, but I did find this. Apparently 43.5% of website traffic is human now. The rest is AI, bots, and other non-human sources. Which begs the statement: your guest experience is now your most defensible storytelling platform. Your guest experience from pre-arrival, in-resort, and post-departure are your chance to capture your audience and to capture them in your sustainability journey. Because if they're not learning it through this, they're less likely to be learning it from the sustainability page on your website, and they're less likely to be seeing it anywhere else. You have to capture them in those first few moments of pre-arrival, because within your sustainability journey, because within that journey, maybe they didn't book your hotel on sustainability, but if your booking confirmation looks like this, the opportunity to surprise and delight them that you actually are invested in sustainability can look like this. And I know this might be hard to read at the back there, but your booking confirmation is one of those intangible touch points that has the opportunity to engage your visitor on your values. All of a sudden, so they booked your hotel based on the hot tub view in Cox Bay, or they booked your hotel based on the lakeside location. But then you send them confirmation and you tell them, oh, by the way, we're actually invested in all of these conservation initiatives, so before you come, this is what you can expect. Now all of a sudden, they're even more likely to open your emails. They're even more excited to come to your hotel, and you've now set the stage for helping them be champions of your cause. You know, a lot of people send countdowns to the stay. Like when people are looking forward to the trip and they have an accommodation booked at a hotel, they're going to open those emails. They're going to open the emails from the airline. They're going to open they're very captive audience. So how are your digital touch points engaging them so that it helps them understand what they're about to get into? The next one I want to go into is in-resort. The property is your stage. I cannot think of a better platform in the tourism industry to engage your audience than the hotel. You have a blank canvas for storytelling. And every one of these storytelling platforms every one of these storytelling services is one that you already own. Your Wi-Fi login page, your in-room TV, your lobby screen, the amenities in your room, it goes on and on and on. There are so many different ways to engage the audience and engage the visitor through your in-resort communications to help them be champions of your cause, but to also allow them to learn on their own terms. You have the opportunity to engage them in all of these different areas while they're staying in your hotel. So give them something to read, give them something to look at, give them something to learn. I'm going to go into a couple examples here. This one is from Bali. I was there a couple years ago reporting on this really awesome property. Their sole purpose is to rejuvenate and to reintroduce the Bali starling. This bird was down to 40 in the wild, critically endangered, and this resort actually brought them, I think they're at 240 in the wild now. That's their sole purpose, and they nail it when it comes to sustainability. Their other sole purpose is to rehabilitate the national park around them through an endemic tree planting program, through coral restoration. And no matter where you go on the property, storytelling is everywhere. It's even in these rice crackers. I wouldn't know or even think about where these rice crackers came from before they came to my table until they came with a card. And they told me that this hotel supports small and medium enterprises down the road. You know, they could have made these rice crackers themselves, but they didn't. They support cooperatives, they support women-founded organizations, they support all these different organizations, and they tell the story that goes along with it. And if you think back to my slide there earlier, the soap is just soap in the room until you've learned that until you learn the story behind it, that it comes from a local community or that it's made from foraged ingredients. Same with the rice crackers, same with any of the food. They're just rice crackers until you learn the story behind them. And then they have connection and meaning. And then your money feels like it's going to a greater cause. Now, what is the most classic example of storytelling? It's a book. Easy. Hotel Z nails this. So when you go to Hotel Z, you check into the room, and we all know they're quite rebellious. So they encourage you to steal the book, not the towels, just the book. And what this book is called, it's called Respect in the Garden. And it tells you the story of the Clayoquot Wilderness area and how it was saved through the War of the Woods. Now, those trees out there, I'm sure a lot of us have been there, they're beautiful, they're stunning. But they're just trees until you learn that people tied themselves to them to save them, until you learn the whole story of what went into that place and why and how we can enjoy it today. I'm gonna leave a copy of this book. They brought it for me. I'll put it over here so you can have a look for yourself. But this is such a classic and easy example of in-resort storytelling that, you know, they don't own the history, but they feel it's their responsibility to share it so that everyone can appreciate how far we've come in conservation on the west coast of Vancouver Island. Another one who does this really well is my friends at the Cayuga Collection. They don't encourage you to steal their book, but you can download it online. And the Cayuga Collection has done incredible work in conservation across their whole portfolio. And so when you're sitting on your balcony and you're seeing sloths hang from the trees overlooking the rainforest, through this book, you can understand that they actually help repopulate the sloth animals there through a reforestation project, or they helped to all the coral restoration projects. Like, you can read through this book and understand across their whole portfolio how sustainability is done, the impact it has on local communities, and the impact it has on their staff. And if you go to their website and scroll to the bottom, you can download a PDF copy of this book and see how they do it as well. Another good example, the key card. It's an easy one. People know the name of the hotel that they're checking into. They will be able to find the Wi-Fi login. But what does your key card look like? Can it tell a story? Can it truly illustrate your sustainability journey a little bit better? Now, this one is one that always gets me. At the TV in the hotel room, pardon me, the TV in the hotel room. So of all of the hotels I've checked into around the world, let's just narrow it down to all the hotels I've checked into that have a TV on in the room, which has been many. Only once has a TV actually been playing a video of their sustainability story and impact work from the moment I check, as soon as I get in the room. It was at Mayacoba in Mexico, if anyone knows that one. They have a Fairmont property there, as well as a whole bunch of others. But across all of 5 hotels, Banyan Tree, Fairmont, they have this video playing in the room on loop, so that within the first 30 seconds of entering the room, you can understand what is going on beyond the walls of that hotel room that you're walking into. Again, sustainability might not be the reason they booked at Mayacoba, but it might be the reason they rebook again or at one of its other properties around Mexico, because they learn the journey. And I think this is such an easy, classic storytelling platform that is a big miss. So the hotel room TV is one that I definitely recommend people take advantage of. Most oftentimes when you walk into the room, it says your name. You know your name, but you don't know what else is going on beyond that property. A card on the table, another easy platform. Another easy platform can be the elevator. Most people don't even have time to take out their phone in the elevator. They're just looking at the wall and looking at the numbers and kind of counting down. Give them something to look at. Give them a journey that explains all of your impact work to help them be champions of your cause. Now, the highest digital traffic touch point in a property is the Wi-Fi login. I think you guys are the experts, but I would assume this is the highest digital traffic touch point in a hotel. What does it look like? Can it communicate your sustainability? Oh, by the way, did you know this Wi-Fi is actually powered by 72% renewable energy? Can it just go one step further to communicate your story a little bit better? I want to go through an example as well here. So this was a place that I went to in India last year. These are a few of my photos. And this particular lodge, their purpose is for tiger conservation and supporting the indigenous community in that area and helping them thrive through sustainable economic impact. I didn't intend on showing this video to a room of 300 people, so mind the messy hotel room. I recorded it for an Instagram story. But this hotel nails it as well. So all of these little cards here, all of these little GIFs that you see, these GIFs they put them down on the bed on turn down service, and all these little notes are actually bedtime stories from historical stories from the indigenous community. All of these different cards tell a story and help connect the consumer to the greater work and greater impact that this lodge is doing and its sole purpose for existence. This one and the lodge what I talked about earlier, like these aren't part of any big chains, but they've done such a good job at illustrating their sustainability journey and their sole purpose of why they are there. Even the tiger paw cookies that were on the table, they came with a story as well, and told me how they were made by a chef in the community, and so they've really done a great job of not only giving you things to bring home to help connect you to the journey, but explaining that whole journey as well. And outside of the property too, they have an incredible cultural center as well, cultural heritage center for the community. So another thing I want to get into is how, for some reason, and I can understand why. Maybe sustainability isn't the sexiest when it's a giant compost heap, but for some reason, sustainability lives in the back of the house, and I get it. What Dessa Potato Head Club in Bali, club and hotel in Bali have done is they have brought the back of house to the front of house. So Bali is choking in plastic. I don't even think they have any way to deal with plastic there right now. And so the Potato Head Club and Hotel has brought it on themselves to deal with it right on the property. So they have these incredible shredders that they put all the plastic through, and they mold it together. And all this is actually functioning. It's not functioning in this video, but it's all functioning machinery that the guest gets to see before they even get to the pool. And before they even get to the room and see that desk in the hotel room was actually made from recycled plastic, and that all of the groovy looking decor and cups and everything is actually made from recycled plastic. So instead of keeping that at the back of house and instead of hiding it from the guests, they want the guests to truly buy into their purpose and buy into their cause. Another good example, again, from my friends at Cayuga Collection, Hans has been doing back-of-house tours for over 15 years. And this is one of the few places I've been to where the tour that I got is a tour that everyone gets. It wasn't just journalist treatment. And it's great. You get to go to the smelly compost heap. You get to go to the farm. You get to go to where the paper is recycled. And you get to go to the super loud woodworking shop, and you get to understand and maybe even get ideas of what you can bring home to help your sustainability journey as well. They've brought the back of house to the front of house by giving you a ticket to it. This one of my favorites. If you pick up a copy of Time magazine right now, I have a couple stories in it, and one of them is from the Six Senses Lamu in the Maldives.
I'm Sylvia Earle. I'm a National Geographic explorer, founder of Mission Blue, and I really want to congratulate Six Senses Lamu on the opening of the Marine Research and Education Center, the Sea Hub of Environmental Learning in Lamu. A platform to educate and inspire the next generation of ocean protectors through incredible, immersive, and interactive experiences across the resort. A world-class facility for research and education for the unique marine ecosystems around Lamu is truly reason for hope.
So prior to the Sea Hub for Marine Learning, Six Senses was engaged with several NGOs, the Manta Trust, the Olive Ridley Turtle Project, and MUI, the Marine Underwater Initiative. A lot of these lived back of house. And so when it came time to building a new science facility on the island, and this island is in the middle of nowhere, and it's one of the most advanced marine science centers I've been to. They've achieved some incredible work. When they were building Shell, they thought, okay, how can we make this into an education center as well as support the work that we're doing in science? So they've brought the back of house to the front of house by giving an open platform for education and learning so that the guests, and especially the children, it is so important to be educating the children through this journey. They give them a platform to learn and a hands-on experience that they get to experience engaging activities with, like you saw some of the light displays there, and it is incredible. So they've brought the back of house to the front of house through this experience. Now, another thing that we need to talk about as well is the post-departure journey. So they've stayed at your hotel. They are emotionally charged. You've educated them, you've inspired them, they've learned about your journey, your impact work, your conservation work. They've learned everything through your incredible storytelling through your property. They are so captive. You have them in the palm of your hand. So how are you going to continue to engage them? Does your survey look like this post-departure? Or does your survey look like this? Does it say, by the way, while you were staying at our property, you helped eliminate X kilos of waste. You helped eliminate X liters of water, or helped save X liters of water. Your eco fund helped to fund the restoration of an interpretive area. They are so captive at this moment. You have them in the palm of your hands. And this is something that you can truly engage them with in storytelling post-departure. Another one that does this really well is Home Exchange. In their survey, they ask you to help map your carbon, your footprint. So how did you get to the home exchange and things like that. And then it helps you map your carbon footprint with them so that they can put it towards their B Corp reporting. Another one that we all probably own is the newsletter. So they've left, they're captive, but where else is my eco fund going to? What other interpretive trails are you building? What else are you doing on the property? I stayed at, this is a different resort in Indonesia quite a few years ago that I stayed at, and Missoul, and they had a manta ray adoption program, and I adopted a manta, and so appropriately named it Fanta, the manta. And I am so bought into Missoul's cause. Their entire purpose of the resort is marine conservation. They protect over 300,000 hectares of marine conservation area now. They have rangers that patrol it, which are funded by the resort. Their quarterly newsletter is the one that I look forward to the most. I am so excited to always hear what else is happening out there. What other storytellers are there? What other conservationists are there? What is the impact work? Who are you working with? What other scientists have you brought onto the property to help map and to help protect the area? It is the quarterly newsletter I am opening first because I'm bought into their cause, because I stayed there, because they nailed it at storytelling, and because I am now part of their audience. And with that, I just wanted to kind of start to end on a note in looking back at how far we've come. 13 years ago, this work was this wasn't needed. There was only a handful of eco-lodges, really, that were nailing it in sustainability. But now as an industry, when we look back at how far we've come and how many businesses are certified and how many people and organizations are checking lots of the boxes in sustainability, we now are at a point where it gives me reason and gives me hope that we need to start communicating our story. Because I've seen this gap within my journalism and marketing work, I think we're there. I think we need to help the reader, help the audience, help the guests understand our purpose and understand our impact work a little bit better. So my company last year launched some storytelling services. And basically what we do is we go in and we do impact assessments with the accommodation sectors. We map their customer touchpoints, and we help them communicate where they can tell their stories so that the customer learns on their own terms. I think we've come so far, like I said, and the industry, if we can help just go a little bit further and help the guests understand that the causes and the impact work that we're a part of can help make tourism and this world a better place. It'll help get them bought into to your brand. It'll help them become repeat visitors. It'll help them become word-of-mouth marketers, and they too will be part of your cause. So thank you very much.